trying to get sober. Lord, help me get strong.
How you doing today? My name is Isaiah, and this is the 12 at 12 podcast. We have a special guest today. Her name is Liz.
Hi, I'm Liz. I'm an addict.
How you doing today? Now, this is the podcast that we talk about real things, real life, and recovery, and redemption, growth, development. That's what this is about. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please tap the subscribe button and share for more. Also, we are sponsored by a great company, First Step Recovery. If you need help with your addiction problem, please contact First Step Recovery. They will be happy to help you. If you know someone who needs that help, contact them. They will be happy to help you. Now, Liz, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's the first drug you ever used?
Let's see. The first drug I ever used was marijuana.
Marijuana?
Yeah.
It seems like everybody uses marijuana first.
Yeah.
That's why I always ask people, do you think it's a gateway drug?
I absolutely think it's a gateway drug. And I think that people find a hard time making it less normal now that it has become legalized. It's just like, kind of the same issues that we have with alcohol and prescription medications. People see that they don't have a problem, but for me it started with marijuana. It ended up drawing me around certain crowds of people. And when I would go around those certain crowds of people, I would be subjected to other types of drugs there later on in life. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But not much later.
So what age did you start?
13.
13? Oh, you were young.
Yeah.
You were young, just like me.
Yeah.
Just like majority of people, they start smoking at a young age. And then it always leads to more. For smoking marijuana, alcohol just seems to go along with it, from what I noticed at least. Okay, so you're from where?
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Lived here your whole life?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about fitness today. How long have you been working out so far?
I've been working out since December.
Since December?
Yeah.
It's a new thing you started, or did you used to play sports or something and you kind of got into it?
I never played sports at all, actually. I started in prison.
Oh, in prison?
Yeah.
What you was in prison for?
Organized crime.
Oh, you was a mob boss. You was a mob boss.
No, I'm a mob boss. Though. I just, consequences of my actions of trying to support my drug habit, and I just really did it big. Got me a little 4-year sentence. So I had 33 months to learn to cope in general population in Pee Wee Valley, and it was. You just had to. I didn't have the drugs in my life. I didn't have, there was, drugs obviously inside of the prison, but it's also a commodity for people who have money.
Yeah.
I was just your hustler, you know what I mean? Like I would most definitely be the person in there drawing stuff up and making my money, doing laundry, doing whatever I had to do to make my money to get by, but I sure didn't. It wasn't something I could afford, so I came up with coping skills for myself to get through that, dark time in my life. And it was a breath of fresh air. Once I started doing it, it was hard to build that habit, but that's how I knew, because I did it, like I had a time frame in mind, and I was like, all right, I get out this time, like maybe I can get myself together by the time I get out, like, and this is helping me with my aggression, my anger, my anxiety, my depression, making me feel get good self-esteem. So like once I fostered, the idea that I could, do this, and I started getting through it and seeing results and stuff, and actually being able to deal with them emotions that I was feeling here in recovery, I was like, that was something I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Something I enjoyed, and because I did it before, I knew I could do it again,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that was your bid, right? 4-year bid you got sentenced to. Was that your first time being locked up that you got sentenced, or was it like an ongoing thing, getting locked up in and out, and then you accumulated points, or was it like a major raid that happened?
That was just, it was one time straight for 33 months. And then I've had many times being locked up outside of that in different counties, different parts of Kentucky. I've been everywhere. Louisville is one of them. Bullitt County, Casey County, Davis County, Pikeville, Sap, Fayette County, Pee Wee, and yeah.
Okay, so
It was a journey, man. It was a journey.
It definitely is. It definitely is. I noticed that with recovery and with using in general, it's always like a rocky roller coaster. You know, you're going up and down, up and down. And incarceration always comes hand in hand with using. It just comes. It just goes hand in hand with addiction.
Yeah, I turned 18. I was 18. I got arrested. I turned 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. There. I spent every birthday, every holiday. I spent every Easter, every Halloween, every Mother's Day, every Father's Day. Lost custody of my kids. They took my rights while I was there. Spent a lot of time away from it. I found out that it was just me and God at that point, really.
Yeah.
You know?
You started off with using marijuana. What was your drug after that? How did it progress to more stronger things? So
opiates. It started with pain pills, Lortab, Percocet.
Did somebody just offer you them one day, or was it you went through an accident and then you ended up getting hooked on them?
It was friends' parents.
Friends' parents?
Friends' parents, they were prescribed them and be like, oh, you have a toothache, oh, you have a headache, you know. It just really encouraged, you know what I mean? Like, this helps, you know what I mean? But for me, like, it went from that to, like, I gotta have this feeling. I knew there was something wrong. I just didn't know what was wrong. I spent a lot of time doing whatever I could to get another one already. So young, I didn't notice what it was. I didn't know that I had an addiction. But now that I look back, hindsight 2020, I knew that it was escalating really fast. I know we went from the pain pills I obviously experimented with alcohol. But the first time that I experienced something that I couldn't stop was when I took fentanyl patches and ate them. I was 15 years old, and Oxy 80s and Opanas, Percocet 30s, Roxicet 30s, it really got a hold on me pretty tough, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, besides the opioids, have you ever tried anything else?
Yeah, at 18, I started smoking crack cocaine and smoking methamphetamines. Yeah.
How did it affect your finances?
Well, when I graduated high school, I graduated with an associate's. I was already in college. I would co-op to college. I was pregnant. I was working at Arby's, and I mean, I was doing all these things, but I made it to where I would have an associate's for graphic design by the time I graduated. And I graduated, and after I had my son, like, they prescribed me more pills and stuff for my C-section, and I didn't have any, I was in between, like, finding work from having, like, that college experience, and I just had a little bit too much time on my hands. Like, some people, they go straight into college. I didn't. And so I think that time right there really was vital for me to succeed in life. If I would have gotten into something, it might have helped me. But instead, I took that time, and I lost the job I worked at. I ended up losing my son, my very first son. And my finances, like I said, I didn't. Once I lost that job, because I couldn't keep up with it. Like, I was spending so much time trying to go find this, do that, waking up late. I didn't really know that I was experiencing withdrawals, but I was experiencing withdrawals. Everything was becoming to get out of control a little bit. I decided, not by choice, my aunt, she offered me a deal of a lifetime. She said, if you go to school and get your nursing assistant certification, I'll pay for it. And when you get done, I'll pay you an incentive for getting a job in that field.
So you had family that was trying to help you at the time?
Trying to help me, yeah. Which I still felt like kind of alone at that time, because they didn't have those, they weren't struggling with the same things I was already struggling with. I knew I had a problem. I just, I was like, all right, well, maybe this can help me. Maybe going out and trying to get my nursing assistant's certification will help me. And I got it, and I got a job in a nursing home. I kind of slowed down for a while because I had to pass a drug test to get through there. I did my best to do that, but before it was all said and done, I ended up with a position. That's when the Opanas kind of went out of, the picture, and heroin came in the picture. Meth came in the picture. Crack came in the picture. Anything hard, I did it, and I lost that job because of that record, and so I wasn't able to provide for myself at all. I wasn't able to provide for my son. I didn't have finances. I mean, they were all gone. I mean, I lost the car. I totaled the car I drove. I flipped it 3 times. I couldn't stay off the stuff. I kept overdosing. I was staff flighted to UK Hospital on one occasion. I'm trying to go dance in Lexington. I started stripping, and that was a degrading experience. It's all fun at first when you're young and you start to get a little older. And
Do the majority of strippers have habits?
Yeah, not like mine. It didn't seem like they tried to kind of like filter people out. Like they didn't want people that it was a lot of alcoholics. They didn't want people that were on heroin stuff. There was people there that did stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like once they found out that you did harder drugs, they let you go.
Yeah.
They didn't want that in their business, their place of business.
Okay.
Whereas you would expect it, but there was a lot of drug dealers there. It was really hard to not be influenced to do something, you know what I mean?
That environment kind of
Yeah,
couldn't
sets
get
the
away
tone
from
for it, you know? And then it definitely affects your self-esteem, and it's like you got to do something just to even get out there and dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine that was pretty hard on you.
Yeah, it was. But it became addictive too, just the lifestyle itself. The music, the lights, the neighborhood I was in, the attention I got. And then when I was sedated with the drugs that I chose, it just made it easier to deal with and cope with. And so I just kept, repeating the same thing. I was benefiting from that lifestyle at first.
So how did it affect you physically? Because you say that you started working out not too long ago, and throughout your life you haven't really worked out, or was it just that time? Just recently you just started, or was it an on and off type of thing? And how did drugs affect you during that time, or you physically?
Me physically, okay. So I can only begin to start. Drugs have affected me physically in so many ways. To start, okay. First and foremost, I want to say that I've experienced a lot of brain damage, a lot of trauma. I have been the victim of acts of violence out in the environments that I was in. I was subjected to STDs. I contracted HIV, and that turned into full-blown AIDS. I'm okay today though, because my journey has brought me about that. When I came to First Step, it was a blessing to me. It was a blessing to me because all I have amounted to in the past is, I became a prostitute. I sold my body. I ended up in relationships. I didn't wear protection. I lived a very high-risk lifestyle. And so with being a needle addict, like I was addicted to shooting up extremely, like an extreme amount. Like it's crazy. I felt more addicted to that than the drug itself.
But
I just being bad to myself.
The act of shooting?
The act of doing it.
Pain? Or was it?
Yeah, maybe.
So you wanted to basically what you've been through.
I didn't believe I deserved anything good in life.
Yeah, the trauma. You wanted to hurt yourself.
So like
basically.
mentally, like that physical aspect, like mentally, like I just began like going through things like I got Hep C, I ended up getting syphilis. Like my body started shutting down on me, and the longer I went into that lifestyle, the longer the longer I started to not be able, like, as long as I could keep going, I wasn't gonna stop. And it was like at one point, I finally went to jail, and I was supposed to get out, and I didn't get out. And when I started noticing these like spots showing up all over my body, I started to feel weaker as the days started to go on. I started to get a rash across my face. You know what I mean? Like I was extremely skinny. I was probably about 110 pounds soaking wet.
Around what year was this that all
this is
that everything started happening with you physically?
I contracted HIV in 2021. I got Hep C when I was 18. A lot of dirty needle use. When, you know, the needle exchanges weren't really popular back then. They didn't have them. You could go to Walmart and you could really share them with people. Because I was kind of part of this this whole deal before this epidemic hit, you know? It was just a lot of older folks. I was the youngest person out there doing it. And it just became a way of life for me. And I kind of succumbed to the darkness. I feel like it became my friend. Like I was in a depression. My self-esteem was extremely damaged. Like I said, I finally went to jail, and they weren't really paying me much mind, but I kept on telling them, like, I'm having this symptom, I'm having that symptom. Like this is last year. All right before I came here to First Step, probably 4 or 5 months before I came to First Step, when I got locked up. So in September of 2024, I found out, but they rushed me to the emergency room from the jail. And that's because the nurse finally came to the conclusion that my body was shutting down and that I was in sepsis from having syphilis. And that's what the spots all over my skin was, like all over my body, and it was just like scarring really bad, and it looked like chicken pox. Like I was like, this is crazy. Like I was like, something is fucking wrong with me, and I just felt so sick and so ill, and it's because my immune system was so low that my body couldn't fight off, like, you know, when you get viruses.
Couldn't fight out those infections.
Yeah, I couldn't fight off infections. It's what it is. You know, you don't have very many white blood cells, and when you have viruses, the white blood cells can no longer fight them because there's not very many. Like the virus is killing the white blood cells. So when you have other viruses in your body, you just can't fight it. And with HIV, you have so many white blood cells, just not your average amount that a normal person would have. And then you get AIDS, it's less. You know what I mean? Like a normal person has about 80,000 white blood cells. Someone with AIDS is in the hundreds range, 500 to 100. You know what I mean? If you have 80,000 viruses, just imagine that being like a war against someone. Like we have 80,000, they have 80,000, we got a good chance. You know what I mean? Like if there's 100 of us and 80,000 of them, like the chances are slimmer. You know what I mean? And most likely that person in that side is going to lose that war. So that's kind of how I viewed it inside myself. They told me when they rushed me to the hospital for that situation, because I'd also got shingles. I'm 32 years old and I got shingles, and that's what the rash was, starting to go across my face. And before I knew it, my whole entire left side of my face was paralyzed. And I barely had the strength to even get up and walk or to get medicine from them. But at that hospital visit, they told me that I was finally diagnosed with AIDS, full-blown AIDS. And I cried, and I curled up in a ball in the fetal position. I cried for my mom. I felt like there was not a chance in life that nobody was ever going to love me. So they gave me all these medicines. They put me on a medical hold, and they told me that there was no way that they could release me, even though I'd been released. They was like, I'm sorry, but like you're fighting for your life, and we're going to help you to fight for your life, no matter what it takes. So they put me in single cell, and the individual cells. I'll never forget it. Cell 4, dorm 4, cell 4. And 30 days it took for them to get me on a medication called Biktarvy. And I just felt really weak. Like my body had deteriorated so much that
So you knew for sure something was going on.
Well, I was dying. I mean, that's the truth to it. Like, I feel like I was one of them people, like, I have an ultimatum, and like, so my goal right here is like, I want people to understand like the risks of living that high risk lifestyle. Like, it could be you too. A lot of people don't feel like it could be them. They're like, well, man, that sucks, you know. But as many times as you didn't wear protection, as many times as you shared needles, as many times as you know what I'm saying, did this or did that, like, it could be you too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never thought it would be me. I never thought that would be me. But see, so many people, it was hard for me to understand how I tried giving up. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I tried giving up, but there was this one time I overdosed. I swear I felt like I was at the gates of heaven, and I just kept hearing this voice just tell me, like, Liz, it's not your time, and you have a purpose here on earth, and I need you to go back. Like, it's just not your time, baby. You know what I mean? Like that was like emotional, because like when I came back, I was angry.
Was that your first experience with like God?
No.
No.
No, I grew up with, you know what I mean, like being with my mom. My mom, she instilled the belief of God inside me.
So you still.
But I was
believe in God,
angry.
but you were.
I was angry.
You was angry at
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, my boyfriend passed away in 2022, and this is around the same time
Sorry
that I
to hear that.
got HIV, and so then he died from endocarditis and stuff, which is also another.
So
thing.
he had HIV also.
He did get HIV from me, and that was a difficult thing too. So once he was gone, I really felt alone. But I got out of that jail experience, and by the grace of God, my court order was the First Step Recovery here. And I'd gotten this number from a girl in jail, and I remember calling Will and be like, hey, do y'all have a bed available? And he was like, yeah, we have a bed available. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was awesome, because I was like, that was easy. That was fast. You know what I mean? Like, that was the best experience I've ever had, getting on the phone with a recovery center trying to get help. And it was in jail.
Yeah, one thing about it, First Step Recovery does not play any games.
They don't play. They're about that life.
They're here to help you for real. They're really here, hands on, trying to help people out. And if you do need help, like I told you before, I'm gonna throw that number back across the screen. Please reach out, because they're helping people coming out of jail. They're on ankle monitors. They're out of prison. They're doing, they don't got a place to go.
They get up in the middle of the night and go get people. They will go anywhere. They will travel. They will help you.
Yeah.
They will help you. They reach out. I go out and I drive around, and I look for people that need or want the help. And I know I don't try to preach on anybody, but if you're ready, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. This place saved my life. And to answer your question though about the fitness, right? What had happened is in the first, you know what I mean, like, I'm trying to make this as quick as possible, but I got here, and I was a little shaky. I wanted to go back out there and use, to be honest. In the back of my mind, I wanted to use, but as I started to just sit still just a little bit longer, and they started to offer me these tools, and I started taking suggestions from people, I noticed that I'm one of those people, I like to take parts of people that I like. Like, if I like this about a person, I want that. I take it for myself. You know what I mean? And if I like this about a person, like, I don't ever try to spend time being jealous or envious. Like, if I like this about you, I like this about you, I like those shoes that you're wearing, I like that bow in your hair, I like this about your personality, I'm going to take those pieces of people. And I kept noticing people working out. And I was like, man, I've done that before. It was a long journey to get to the goal I was trying to get to, but then I noticed that when I went and started to try, like, that it started to become a habit. And my goal was to get healthier. I was like, I only got one body, one temple, you know?
Yep.
One body, one temple.
That's it.
That's it, you get one. We don't get two, we get one. And I decided to start taking care of it.
Yeah,
I started watching what I ate.
Yeah.
I started taking the medicine they was giving me. I started taking herbal supplements. I started going up there, and not only was I taking care of my body up there, like, I noticed over the course of months that I went from I started like 10 pounds. I mean, like it was nothing. Like it was just the 10. Like this, the very top little peg on the machine.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Now I'm almost to 100 on just ab crunches. You know what I mean? Like now I can do, I went from like 4 minutes, 30 seconds of cardio on the treadmill. And now I can do 45 minutes on the stair stepper, the climber, 45 minutes on the elliptical, 45 minutes on the treadmill if I want on incline. You know what I mean? Like I feel the growth.
Yeah.
Like, and it makes me feel good, like I'm accomplishing something. And, you know, like I said, I used to have them thoughts of like low self-esteem, but, and whether somebody would love me or not, but like I'm starting to love myself. Yeah. And if that makes sense, like, it's just, as I started to take care of myself, like I was able to go to the doctor just not very long ago, and I got the results I was looking for, and they told me I was negative for HIV and AIDS. I'm undetectable now.
Wow, congratulations.
I'm undetectable, and I can no longer transmit it.
How did that happen? How did that work?
At the same time, I'll tell you, but at the same time, they said, Miss Sizemore, I just want to let you know that you also no longer are showing enzymes for hepatitis C.
Dang.
I sat there and bawled my eyes out.
Sound like a miracle to me.
And to me, it amounts to nothing but God. But this program, like I try not to show sadness over it today. It's hard for me to express it sometimes. It's hard for me to talk about it sometimes. But today, like, I found one thing that helps was being honest and to speaking about it. And I really hope to reach out to somebody who struggles with it. So what I did was, because I was in my addiction so badly, I couldn't make it to appointments. This lady kept reaching out to me, and she's like an angel. Like, she was a caseworker of mine that worked at the Needle Exchange, and she would come and find me and trap me.
And that's in Louisville, Kentucky also?
Absolutely. It was over off Taylor Boulevard. They set up right there behind the St. Mary's Hospital.
Okay.
And she would come and find me in trap houses, in abandoned houses, walk up, you know what I mean, in a crowd full of people. She didn't care if they had guns, needles out, somebody's overdosed on the sidewalk. Is Liz here? Is Liz here? And I would go talk to her. She would do everything in her power to sit down with me. Like, this is where someone first reached out to me and let me know that it was no longer a death sentence, that I could get help. And but I was just so far caught in my addiction. I began to accept the help, but I was still stuck. So it wasn't until I was arrested, and you know what I mean, like, cause I kind of fell off. I lost my medicine. I couldn't make them appointments. I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I started being missing or isolating and hiding away from her, so she couldn't find me to come get me. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, cause if there was any way I could die, that was the way I was like, all right, I don't want to commit suicide. That was my thoughts. My negative thoughts was like, I didn't want to commit suicide, but I wanted to be in heaven with my boyfriend that passed away. Like, I wanted to be with him, and I was grieving so badly, and like so many of my friends died out there from endocarditis, from gunshot wounds, from being shot by the police, from you know what I mean, suffocation, vomit, and stuff like that. Like, just a lot of trauma for me. So like, being able to start this process here, it was a big breath of fresh air to have the peer support here, the fellowship and stuff. When I went to the I was able to make it to my first appointment outside, and that was like a goal. You know, you make goals and you start to achieve them. It gives you it fosters a sense of self-esteem. You know what I mean? Like, I accomplished something. Like, I'm capable of doing that. I'm enough. Like, you start to have to talk to yourself in a better way, in a positive way. For me, it was a lot. It was a lot. Just kind of like
before you started,
the medication.
You were hating yourself at first.
I hated me. I honestly didn't want to live. I didn't want to live no more.
When did you get that sense of hope and sense of, you know what, man, I'm going to fight this. I'm going to start. When was that changing point when you was like, I'm about to start going to the gym. I'm done with the moping around. I'm done with the hating myself. You know, I'm better than this. I'm a better person than I look at myself. And then you started loving yourself. When was that turning point? What changed your mind?
When I seen it working for someone else. When I seen other people who struggle with the same problems that I struggle with, and they were they seemed happy. I started taking the suggestions that, why don't you go try this? Why don't you go do that? Like, I started doing that. I started pushing myself. And when I was at the gym, like, I started, like, tuning out. I could put in my earbuds. Like, I'm by myself because, see, I struggle with the people thing. I didn't trust people. People talk about me. I got jumped for having HIV. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the middle of the hood. Like, women in this neighborhood jumped me for having it. So, like, I was by myself at first. Before I decided to, like, really tune in to people, to the fellowship. Because I was still kind of like, I don't trust you. I don't know you. You know, you could be, you have potential to bully me. You have the potential to hurt me. You have the potential to lie to me. You might have these ill intentions. I don't know what you're up to. None of that. You know what I mean? Like, so it was just me. It's just Liz. I was facing myself. It was time to fight Liz against Liz. And like, I was like, if I'm not good at dying, and I had this purpose, and I always remember that vision that I had when I overdosed. You have a purpose. Here, go back. It's your time. So I'm like, what's my purpose? I don't know yet. But how am I going to find it if I'm not getting up and moving around and trying to go, like, implement myself into positive environments? So the gym was a positive environment for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? I didn't really, I don't really, that's just something I've tried once before, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really know that it'll work for me. But I honestly, on TikTok, Facebook, like, I'd see these women, like, working themselves up, encouraging themselves, building themselves up. And I was like, this is just something I would really like to try. Like, I would really enjoy making this content here, or you know what I mean, just trying to do tutorials for people and stuff. Like, just something like it was just an activity at first until I, like, really tuned in, and I was like, I got the earbuds in and I'm listening, I'm zoned out. I got this meditation on. I like to listen to, like, you know, Machiavelli motivation and you know, Denzel Washington, Kevin Gates and stuff like. But I'm over, they're yelling at me. Yes, I like his stuff. Like, I swear, like, he's really he's got a lot of really good stuff to say. Like, he's pretty deep person. You know, I know all the scandal and stuff with him right now, but, you know, that topic. I ain't heard, I've heard so much about Brittany Renner this week. It's crazy. It's all over the news. And I'm like, gosh, like, let's not talk about her. Let's talk about him.
Yeah, that's
you know,
like, I heard about that.
Yeah, so.
Jeez, that's wild.
Yes, it is wild. I'm disappointed. I don't even want to listen to him no more. Like, I don't even want to listen to him anymore. Like,
jeez.
Yes, I don't want to listen to him no more. I heard him say something motivational. I'm like, eh.
That's a wrap.
It's done for you. Like, you're off the playlist. Like, you gotta go. No, but he has great stuff to say. Him and David Goggins.
David Goggins. One thing about him, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta stay hard.
Stay hard.
Stay hard.
Yeah.
You know,
he's like, you can do this. He was like,
I see people say they hate it. You know what I'm saying? Like really don't like David Goggins. I'm like, man, but at the end of the day, you can't.
He stressed the point.
How could you deny the motivation? It's like why beat around the bush? You know.
Yeah.
You got no excuses.
Yeah.
Just go out there and do it. No more crying. No more self-pity. And I think that's what it's about. Like, when you start to love yourself, because that's when I started. You know, like a couple years ago, I was in a motorcycle crash, whatever. And I died, and I was in ICU for a month. So I broke my whole body, whatever, you know. And I had to learn how to walk again, talk again, you know. My lungs collapsed, so they had to give me a tracheotomy, cut my throat, whatever. I had to breathe through whatever tube or whatever like that. So then, you know, it just broke my back and all type of stuff. So then I had to learn how to walk again. Then I started running again.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy business right there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've taught myself to walk again.
Oh, see that. So you know the struggle when you
it's hard.
Learn how to walk again, and then I'm like, gotta get up and try to go to the bathroom. Like, man, dang, this is everything.
Nobody was there to help.
Yeah, it's just.
Nobody was there to help. I was dragging myself to the bathroom. Matter of fact.
See, that's rough. And once you start getting stronger, then you're like, you know what, man, I'm gonna push through the pain. I'm gonna push through the struggle. I'm gonna push through, no matter what, because
you didn't have negative thoughts though at first.
Oh yeah. Like,
you didn't have things you were telling yourself that was negative, because like I did. And then it was like, I think that's why I enjoy those videos so much.
Yeah.
Is because it's like, because I've been overwhelmed with those negative thoughts for so long. Like, that's all my life's ever been, is like me telling myself I can't do this. Like, I'm not enough. Like, I can't do this. And that's just like helping me. Like, when it's in my ears, like I'm listening to it and I'm just going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and all I can hear is, you know what I mean? Like, who believed in you when you had nobody? Like, you believed in you. You had nobody but yourself, and you know, nobody got up and told you to get up. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like you picked yourself up. Like, that's good stuff. Like, you
exactly.
Feel,
see, me.
see, feel how I feel.
My motivation was God.
Yeah.
Because before then I was before it happened, I've been a minister for a while. You know, I'm not gonna get into it, but I was the deliverance minister, so I did it. You know, I just experienced a lot of stuff spiritually. So I was already helping a lot of people out, and I had a 501c3 nonprofit in Orlando. So I was just helping people out, just voluntarily, just linked up with other people, helping them out. And I was like, okay, this is my purpose. This is my calling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what the Lord want me to. And once you find your purpose, it overcomes your trials, it overcomes your tribulations and all the different things like that. So it's like, okay, this is my purpose, and the purpose is always bigger than you. That's what I noticed. It's always bigger than you. God put you on the earth for a reason. Yeah. And then once you find him and then you know, accept him, praise the Lord. You know, like I said, I'm a Christian. You might not believe, but I'm not gonna push it down your throat, people. Yeah. But
I believe for sure.
Yeah, you know.
I came to believe. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
I came to believe in a power greater than myself.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and the Lord just continued to push me. And then it's like, man, you know what, man, God, you didn't bless me with all these gifts. You didn't bless me with a mind frame I have, or make it through this accident just for me to be what, a paraplegic, or just not be able to walk, or just give up and be like, yo, I'm not gonna. No, man, you know. And I had a minister, one of my ministry partners. He was like, man, you know what, man. He was down in Boca Raton because I was in Orlando. He was down in West Palm Beach, and he was like, "God got you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, man." He said, "Hey, no big deal." He made it seem like it was no big deal, and then just that positive, just that little positive attitude. Yeah. I'm like, you know what? What am I crying about? You know what I'm saying? And then I just looked at it.
I was definitely crying for sure.
Yeah, because I was like, man, this some bull crap, man. You know what I'm saying? God, why God?
Yes, that was me. I'm always a why God kind of person. You know, I was always saying why, but I feel like I can relate to that. When I got those negative results, it was like a fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
I was like,
I feel.
Woo! I was like, I got another chance. Like, so why destroy it? But up, like, I feel like, I got a chance. Like, God gave me a chance. Like, he did CPR on me.
Yeah.
I feel like, here's me. You know what I mean? Here's God.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel. Like, I think the tears of joy are more overwhelming than the tears of sadness that I have today.
Yeah.
Because I get the chance to be a mom again. Like, I could have a partner again. I don't have to die alone. Mm-hmm. Like, I have a story, a crazy story. You know what I mean? Like, I've endured so much hardship, just like you. You know what I mean? Like, I've endured so much hardship. And, like, if I were to guess, like, I watched that lady that reached out for me out there in the streets, like, that walked up to that door, like, that little nerdy, cute white lady. Like, she was so sweet, and she was a gangster. Like, she came out there, she not caring. I was like, I want to be like that. Yeah. I want to help somebody, because although, like, I wasn't right there yet, she put that seed in the ground. She watered it. Yeah. I mean, inside of me, like she got me started. You know what I mean? Like, she informed me of stuff. She educated me. She let me know that it was gonna be okay and stuff. And so, like, I carried that act of kindness with me longer than any, you know what I mean? Any doctor, any you know what I mean? Like a nurse, any person doing my blood work, like anybody who, you know what I mean, was there. Like that small act of kindness, like, I wanted to be like that. And I was like, you know what I mean, like, now that I got this chance to do this, I'm gonna work out. You know what I mean? Now I got this chance to live. I'm gonna push myself to the limit. Like, I can't get further if I continue to do the same things. So I need to do hard things. I can do hard things, and so I keep pushing myself every day. And, like, even though I don't get the results exactly like how I expect it, like, I've made short-term goals. Like, I'm gonna do just a little bit more tomorrow, a little bit more tomorrow, a little bit more tomorrow, like, one day at a time. And that has, like, become the biggest outlet for me. And it's become the biggest outlet for me. And like, I'm starting to feel better, feel healthier. Like, I'm happier.
Yeah, yeah.
The aggression, like the release of aggression. Like, I've had a bad day at work. You know, like it's time to go, and I can relieve that stress, and I can go zone out, and I can sit there, I can meditate over on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna give me a little massage. I'm going to tan, and I'm going over here. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna do my cardio. I'm gonna sweat it out. I'm gonna get all the toxins out of my body, and you know what I mean? Treat myself good.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what I like. That's why I like to exercise and work out so much. It's like I go there, I just relieve the tension, and then I'm like, you know what? God got me a second chance of life, because He could have took me home then. I would have been with the Lord, because it was times I'm like, hey man, God, man, you know what? I was at peace because I experienced the other side. I experienced heaven, like when I died. So when I tell people that, they're like, oh, what do you mean? I was like, I was gone. I wasn't here. I was gone.
Yeah, I wasn't here.
You know what I'm saying? They found me. The paramedics found me non-responsive. So I was like, I experienced heaven. So at the end of the day, I'm like, I know what to look forward to, believing in the Lord Christ. You know, so I'm like, man, you know what, man, I'm here. God didn't take me now.
Yeah.
And then every day is just a voice, and I know the voice isn't my voice. I know the voice of God now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know it's just a voice that like shake your soul.
feel like,
keep pushing forward, keep going, man. God, man, I pray, and then I be like, man, you know what, man? I don't feel like
take me now. I was so angry. He was like, no, it's not your time.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'm
it's
like, well, then what do I do? What do I do now?
And that's the biggest thing, because
it hurt coming back too, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because and the thing about it is, people like, oh, what were you doing before? I was literally in the ministry work. I started doing ministry work in 2019. And then I'm like, this still happened. And then they're like, man, dang, man, you still believe in God? I said, because I know God real. What are you talking about?
I try to point people in the direction. There's self-will, and there's God's will. You know what I mean? Like, and I ran on a whole lot of self-will. Those bad things that we're having, life shows up, but there's also the devil. You know what I mean? Where there's good, there's evil. What's up above is down below. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe there's good and there's evil. Yeah. And there's most definitely, like, when we do drugs and stuff, like, it's opening our minds to
another realm.
Yeah, to another realm. Like, it says, be sober of mind. Like, in what is it? 1 Peter
be sober.
Chapter 5, verse 8. Yeah. 1 Peter, chapter 5, verse 8. Said, be sober of mind. Because when you aren't sober minded, you aren't cautious, you aren't aware.
The devil comes in.
The devil can come in.
Try to put these, even these intrusive thoughts, that negativity, these things like that. It doesn't.
It's a spiritual war out there, man.
It's a spiritual war, because even it says
people think I'm crazy when I discuss like the evils and the things that I've seen out there. Like, it's nuts, and I just try to implement myself in better environments today. I feel like I'm heading in a different direction. I just want to take care of myself. That's all I want to do. Like.
I believe definitely with when you get your spiritual right, your physical gets right. Because God will work. He says, ask you shall receive, and as long as it lines up with the will of God. So if God telling you has a purpose for your life, then He has a purpose for you. And one thing about it is, you're not gonna nothing. I don't care what happens. It's not gonna take you out before His timing for you. You know what I'm saying? If it's your time, it's your time. But if you believe in it, you going and you taking these steps, and then you're following your path. You're following your path that God has lined up for you. Then you're on the right path, and then it doesn't matter if you get hit by a truck, train, or if you get hit with a disease or whatever.
That's the goal.
Because He's gonna give you the strength to make it through it. Everybody's story is different, but the thing about it is, like she said, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Don't hate yourself.
Don't lose hope.
The biggest thing is, don't give up. Don't give up on God too. He's there for us. You hear so many miracle stories happen. It's not just us. We could believe. A lot of people could believe all they want. I see people fall to the left, fall to the right, and then I'm still here, and I'm like, dang, same thing that this person went through, I survived. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna take it for granted. So I try to eat healthier. I try to work out more. I realized that alcohol affected my body horribly. You know what I'm saying? And different drugs used to affect my body horribly. So I'm like, man, you know what? This isn't what I.
It got to the point.
This isn't what I want to do.
Yeah, I got to the point. I had hepatitis C, right? Mm-hmm. I had my twin boys naturally, and one of them contracted it from me. Mm. So not only was I reaping the consequences of my actions of being an addiction, but my child, one of my children, You know what I mean? So like it affects everyone around us. Like, but the better I take care of myself, and the better I take care of my mental state, my emotional state, and I'm taking care of my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the more I feed into those, different aspects of myself, I have a better sense of self-love. Like I love me and I love God. Like I have that relationship today, and like even my mom senses that.
Yeah.
People around me sense that. They're like, "Why are you so happy? Like, you've been through so much. Like your story, it kills me." I'm like, "But you don't understand. Like, I find gratitude. I find gratitude that I'm here still. I find gratitude that my child was healed of that. I find gratitude that I was healed of diseases that, you know what I mean, like most people die from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so like my faith in God, like my prayer every day. My prayer every day, this program, fellowship, sponsorship, my step work, getting into that. You know what I mean? Like I had to do some internal, like some inside work on myself. And a lot of that ends up with, you know what I mean, a better outcome,
Yeah. So people, it's an important thing to understand. She gave you a message, One of it is to have protected sex. Don't be shooting
That's
up.
right.
Don't be shooting up. Don't be, don't be shooting up. Stop the use, because someone loves you out there. We love you here. We don't even know you, but we love you here. God loves you. So you just have to start loving yourself, man, and just realize there is hope. You don't have to hate yourself and tear your body down. Get your body right. Get your mind right. And, miracles do happen, And
I didn't know how to stop. I reached out for help. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it right there too.
Yeah,
like we know how to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you can't rely on your own sense of self, like and you're out there, you're really struggling. You don't know where to begin. You don't know where to start. You don't know if you can do it. You don't know if you can make it. I promise you, and I'm only speaking from experience, that you can do this. You can make it. You are enough. You're worth it. There's not one battle, one trial, one tribulation that is too tough or too much for you to overcome. We've overcome a lot. This is coming from people who know and who've been where you are. We've been through pain. We've been through struggles. And at times of our life, we feel like we could not make it out. Like I felt like I could not make it out. You can make it out. You can make it out. You can live a life. You can have a healthy life. You could have family, friends, support. You know what I mean? Employment, housing.
Yeah.
You mean you can have a shelter, a place to call home. That was something I strived for so long, a place to call home. You know what I mean? For right now, like first step is my home, and this is my family. This is not just a place I work. First step is my family. You know what I mean? So get the number, call us,
Yep.
reach out.
Yep, and thank you so much, people, for tuning in. And like we said, health is wealth, people. Don't give up. If you're not walking, pray about it and continue to move forward. You never know, you might be walking. If you have a certain disease, like she had a disease, you never know what might happen. Pray about it. Keep fighting.
Yeah.
And you don't know what might happen. Miracles do happen today. And thank you so much, Liz, for
You're
coming
welcome.
in and sharing your testimony. We're here today at 12 at 12 podcast. We're going to end it off. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. Share for more. And remember, we're here Monday through Friday at 12 for you.
Yeah, hit that button.
Have a blessed day.
Bye.